What's up, guys? It's Lawrence. Thanks for stopping by my channel. If you like what you see, please like, comment, share, and subscribe. Thanks. Observing obscure observances. Hello, everybody. This is Lawrence Ross, and welcome to the calendar. We're looking at the obscure dates for April the 9th, and we're going to get going into this here. And hello, little man. This is Christopher Walken. Just want to let you know that yesterday it was April the 8th. And it marked the 20-year anniversary of me asking for more cowbell on Saturday Night Live. How about if we make April 8th National Cowbell Day? We should do that. Oh! And the other thing, too, I've heard a bunch about you. You see, Granddad gave me this wristwatch many years ago. It's passed down from generation to generation. All right, get him out of here. Okay, sorry about that one, folks. Just had a little bit of a tech issue there, but we got it going now. Taking a look at the dates for April the 9th, here we have Appomattox Day. Appomattox Day marks the date when the terms of surrender were signed to end the Civil War after almost 4 years of fighting. Confederate Commander Robert E. Lee had recently abandoned the Confederate capital, Richmond, as well as Petersburg, Virginia. His goal was to regroup his troops, who were low on supplies and food, and fight on. On April 8th, his troops were almost completely surrounded near Appomattox Courthouse, Virginia. Still, on the following morning, the Confederates mounted an offensive under the command of Major General John B. Gordon. At first, it was going well for the Confederates, but eventually they were turned back as they were outnumbered. General Lee is noted as saying, "There is nothing left for me to do but go see General Grant, and I would rather die 1,000 deaths." Robert E. Lee surrendered to Robert E. Lee surrendered to Commander Union General Ulysses S. Grant in the front parlor of the home of Milmer McGlee. Am I getting that name right? Let's see. In the front parlor of the home of Wilmer McLean. Wilmer had sent a message to Grant earlier in the day saying he would surrender, and they met at 1 p.m. Representative of the nature of the two men, Lee arrived impeccably dressed with sash and sword, while Grant wore the field uniform that had mud splattered on it. Grant quickly wrote the terms of surrender after Lee asked for them. The Confederate troops were pardoned. The soldiers were allowed to keep their horses, which would be helpful for spring planting, and were allowed to return home. They also were given Union rations so they wouldn't starve. Confederate officers could keep their swords and sidearms. Reenactments of the surrender often take place on today's date. Over the years, various celebrations have been held, of which the centennial in 1965 was particularly notable. A ceremony was held at Appomattox Courthouse National Historical Park with Ulysses S. Grant's grandson and Robert E. Lee's grandson present. The day was marked across the country, especially in the South, with costume pageants and concerts of martial music, whatever martial music is. But all I can think of is there's this great line from George Carlin where he says, "Civil war is such an oxymoron," where he says, "Can there really be a civil war? Say, pardon me, I'm awfully sorry. I'm awfully sorry." Something to think about. Ooh, here's something for the YouTube people. International ASMR Day, also known as International Autonomous Sensory Meridian Response Day. That's what that stands for. So for any of the any of the older people out there who might be watching and you're probably wondering what is ASMR, it's basically when a YouTuber, when they talk really softly, they whisper a lot, and they do a lot of really relaxing things, and it's supposed to, it's some sort of a thing that they do. I've never done it. I mean, it sounds like fun, but I got a big yap, so I'm not sure how long I'll be able to do it for. But either way, it's here's an example of what ASMR kind of sounds like. Hey guys, how's it going? Yeah, so right now I'm just scratching my head. Yeah, hope you guys enjoyed that. Something like that. I could go longer, but I don't want to, and I don't have anything before it, unfortunately. Maybe I'll do a collaboration with someone one of these days. Maybe we can work it in. All right, here we go. Next one. Jenkins Ear Day. I don't know what that is. Oh, okay. Well, there's a little bit of information here, so that tells us a little bit. Let's see what this is all about. On April 9th, 1731, the Spanish Coast Guard boarded the English brig, the Rebecca, while it was near Havana. It had come from Jamaica with sugar and was on its way to England. While on board, the ear of Captain Robert Jenkins was cut off. Some accounts say that Juan de Leon Fandino, the Spanish captain, tied Jenkins to the mast and tortured him. Ouch. At some point, someone tried to cut Jenkins' ear off. Apparently, they weren't successful in completely removing it, and the Spanish sailor grabbed it and tore it off. He reportedly gave it to Jenkins and told him to give it to the King of England and to tell the king that he would lose his ear as well. The story had a small amount of initial publicity but soon subsided. It was revived in March 1738 at a time when British nationalists were drumming up support for war with Spain. Some accounts suggest that Jenkins brought the ear to the House of Commons, possibly wrapped in cotton wool or pickled in a jar. Some research said he either did not bring the ear or did not appear before Parliament at all. Nonetheless, his story was part of the impetus for war. It built support and momentum for it. There were much larger issues as to why the war actually started. In 1713, the Treaty of Utrecht gave the British. Oh wait, this is a lot to take in. In 1713, the Treaty of Utrecht gave British a 30-year asiento contract with Spain, allowing an unlimited number of slaves to be transported to the Spanish colonies from Britain. The asiento contract was about to end, and it didn't look like it would be renewed. Some in Britain thought a war would change that. The contract also had stipulated that 500 tons of goods a year could be brought to Spanish America along with the slaves. Over the slaves, this had led to a great number of goods being smuggled to the Spanish colonies. In response to this, the 1729 Treaty of Seville was signed, 1729 Treaty of Seville was signed, giving Spain the right to search English vessels and take anything that was being transported illegally. This is what had set the stage for the Jenkins ear incident, and the Spanish Coast Guard was known for its ruthlessness in monitoring illegal British trade activities. This issue as a whole was one of the other main causes of the war. In addition, some British merchant ships had been sunk by the Spanish. On October 19, 1739, Britain declared war on Spain. It was eventually known as the War of Jenkins' Ear, although the name was not ascribed to it until years later when it was coined by Thomas Carlyle in 1858. The war lasted until 1748, although most major operations ended by 1742. After that year, the war became part of the war of the after that year. Hold on, this thing is jumping all around here. The war lasted until 1748, although most major operations ended by 1742. After that year, the war became part of the larger War of Austrian Succession, which involved most European powers. I'm trying to read along with this thing. Britain's anticipated large victory over Spain didn't come about, and not much was gained for the English in pursuing the war. The War of Austrian Succession, and thus the War of Jenkins' Ear, was ended with the Treaty of Aix-la-Chapelle. In 1750, the Treaty of Madrid finally settled the issue of the asiento contract. Britain gave up the contract for the sum of £100,000. Wow, £100,000. Hang on. Alexa, £100,000 is how many American dollars? $224,594.41. Wow. Okay, oops, excuse me. All right, I got it, Alexa. All right, I got it. Sheesh. All right. Let's see, go back up. There's got to be a way to go back up. Okay, here we go. Maundy Thursday, also known as Holy Thursday, 3 days before Easter. Maundy Thursday. I've never heard this one before. Or heard of it, I should say. Okay, Maundy Thursday is also known as Holy Thursday, depending on where it is being observed and by what religious denomination. It takes place during Holy Week, being on the Thursday before Easter. It is the day after Holy Wednesday and the day before Good Friday. It commemorates the it commemorates the Maundier washing of the disciples' feet and the Last Supper of Jesus Christ, in which he instituted Holy Communion to his disciples. It is not a public holiday in the United States, but in some parts of the world it is, such as in most countries that were part of the Spanish Empire and the Danish colonial empire. There are two possible sources of Maundy. The main one says that it was from the Latin word mandatum, which means commandment. The word was used in a phrase that Jesus spoke while he washed his disciples' feet. On Maundy Thursday, mandatum ceremonies take place in the Catholic Church as part of his Mass or separate from it. During them, a bishop usually washes the feet of 12 people from the community, just as Jesus washed the feet of his disciples. Other denominations besides the Catholic Church also participate in the washing of the feet. The second theory on the name Maundy says that it derived from Monser baskets or Maundy purses. The King of England would traditionally give these out to the poor before attending Mass on the day. They were named as such because the Latin word mendicare means to beg. Some dispute this interpretation as a reasoning for the name of the day. Worship services and Mass are usually held on the evening of the day, as this is when Friday begins in the Jewish tradition, and that is when the Passover started. The Mass is called Chrism Mass in Catholic and Anglican churches. Communion takes place and the liturgy is usually solemn. After, some churches serve potluck dinners, and donations for the poor are commonly collected. Meals of lamb, bitter herbs, and wine are also commonly consumed on the day. Well, there you go, yeah. The blood of the lamb, then you got the bitter herbs, so you feel what the Jews went through, and they're walking through the desert. Then there's the bread representing the yeast that was on their backs, which is all they had. And then there's the wine. You dip your finger in the wine for each of the 10 plagues. And then you tilt your chair back, and the youngest person at the table asks the 4 questions. And there you go with that. Been to a couple Passover Seders in my day. It's very nice occasion. Very nice. All right, go here. What else we got? National Alcohol Screening Day. Boy, that's fun. 2 days after Beer Day. Just when you want that to happen. Oh, boy. National Cherish an Antique Day. I don't have any antiques, so I can't really cherish them, but okay. National Chicken Little Awareness Day? I know that story. Chicken Little running around. No, it was Chicken Licking, I think. It was Chicken Licking going around, going nuts, going, this guy is falling. We must tell the king. Freaking out. Okay, wait, hang on. This might be it. Chicken Little is a folktale about a chick who thinks the world is coming to an end because something, usually a nut, such as an acorn, fell on its head. Throughout the story, it exclaims, "The sky is falling!" and mistakenly thinks disaster is imminent. Chicken Little decides to tell the king that the sky is falling and tells other animals of the falling sky too, who join the chick along its quest. In most versions of the story, the animals have rhyming names, such as Goosey Lucy, Ducky Lucky, and Cocky Locky. There are multiple versions of the ending. The main one says that a fox named Foxy, Loxy, invites all the animals into its dwelling and eats them. In some versions, the chick escapes, and in other versions, all the animals make their way to freedom and are able to visit the king. What does the king say? What does he do? What, does he go off with your heads? Heck does he do? What does he look at Chicken What does he go at Chicken Little and go, ooh, you'd make a good 6-piece chicken tender? And does he look at, I don't know, does he look at the goose and go, you look pretty good on the plate? The story has different moral messages depending on how it ends. If all the animals survive, the story may be interpreted as saying that it is not a good idea to act like a chicken, and one should display courage instead. If the fox eats everyone, the moral is thought to be that not everything one is told should be believed. Well, there you go. Now we have the internet, so that's kind of neutralized it, I guess you could say. In Britain, the story is commonly known as Henny Penny or Chicken Lickin', but in the United States, Chicken Little is the most common name. Well, I've heard it as Chicken Lickin'. The story goes back about 2,500 years, being a traditional oral folk story. It began appearing in books in the early 19th century after the Grimm brothers had set a precedent by publishing German tales. In 1895, the Merriam-Webster Dictionary first listed Chicken Little, defining it as one who warns of predicts calamity, although the term had been used in that regard since 1840. Chicken Little or the sky is falling have also been phrases ascribed to those who are unreasonably afraid or those who try to make others afraid. People can even have Chicken Little syndrome, those that experience are overwhelmed by fear-mongering and are unable to move forward as they think something catastrophic is about to happen. This term began being used in the 1950s. Many different versions of the story appeared in the early to mid-19th century. Just Matthias Thiel printed an early version in the Danish language in 1823. John Greenchandler posted the remarkable story of Chicken Little in 1840 in America. Robert Chambers' popular Rhymes, Fireside Stories and Amusements of Scotland was printed in 1842 and included a version of the story. Joseph Orchard Halliwell's. The story of Chicken Lickin' was printed in 1849 in England. Joseph Cundall's 1850 compilation, The Treasury of Pleasure Books for Young Children, included the wonderful story of Henny Penny, and Benjamin Thorpe printed an English version of Thiel's 1823 story in 1853. Although there is not much information about this day available, it seems that it has to do with the Chicken Little folktale. Not only may the day celebrate this story, but it may also be a day to reflect on its moral messages. Celebrants may try to make sure they're not turning into Chicken Littles and instill unwarranted fear in others. Well, there you go. And that kind of, you take a look at what we got going on today. We got the internet. You got everyone believing almost everything that's on the internet. You got people who read something on Facebook and they automatically believe, oh, well, I read it on my Facebook, so it must be true. Time to heard that one. Well, I read it on the internet. It must be true. They said it was on TV. It was on TV. I heard it. All right. What else we got? National Chinese Almond Cookie Day. All right, well, if you like Chinese almond cookies, have at it. National Former Prisoner of War Recognition Day. Well, there you go. We got to honor those men and women who have been locked up unjustly. John McCain. I mean, despite what you think of his politics, what you thought of him as a person, he was a former prisoner of war. I'm not going to hold that against him. National Gin and Tonic Day. Drink up. There's an old man sitting next to me, making love to his tonic and gin. National Name Yourself Day. Well, that's just silly. I already got a name. Like the pine trees lining the winding road. I've got a name. I've got a name. It's Jim Croce, I've Got a Name. And you can hear that in the movie Django Unchained. It's about 40-some minutes into the movie. It's there. Okay. National Name Yourself Day is a holiday when anyone can give themselves a different name. It is a particularly fun holiday for those who do not like their names, but anyone can celebrate it. According to some sources, one's name can only be changed for a day, but others say it can be changed permanently. Yeah, I think that's called going down to the courthouse and filling out paperwork that says you're not on the run from the law for anything, you don't owe any debts. Okay, congratulations. Your name used to be Gary Jones, now your name is Russell Rogers or something. I don't know. There's an episode of The Simpsons where Homer changed his name. He was Homer Simpson, then he became Max Power, because he was tired of everyone thinking he was a dummy. Because there was a TV character named Homer Simpson, and he was originally a cop, and then That was like the pilot episode, and then when the series debuted, they made him this dumb guy. Not Homer Simpson, the cartoon character. They were watching a TV show where there was a character who had the same name as him. Well, you know how it goes. All right, it's season 10, episode 7. No, it's season 10, episode 15. I think. Yeah. Season 10, episode 15. Wait a minute. No. Wait. Yeah. It's season 10. Wait a minute. Or maybe it's season 10, episode 17. Yeah, okay. Either way, it's season 10. The episode is called Maximum Homer. No. It's Homer the, I think it's called Maximum Homer Drive. I'm not sure. Now I'm not exactly sure. I can't remember if Maximum Homer Drive was the one where they go trucking, where Bart and Homer go trucking, or, all right. You know what? I'll come back to you on this one, folks. I'll look for you later. There are many reasons why people change their names, marriage and divorce being the most common reasons. Some people change their name because they want to hide from something. Although a legal name change can't be done to evade law enforcement or debt, some people change their name just to have a fresh start. People who are transgender may change it after transitioning to a new gender. Some change their name so that it sounds less ethnic or that it's easier to pronounce. Conversely, some also reclaim a family name that was changed in the past. Well, there you go, yeah, just like I said earlier. And, wait, it was season 10, episode 13, Homer to the Max. There we go, I got it, yeah, Homer to the Max. That was in the episode. I remembered what it was now. Had a bit of a brain fart, but I got it. It happens, all right. And I have heard of that happening, by the way. Like Larry King, that's not his real name. His real name is like Lawrence Ziegler or Zigalo or something. I don't know. But someone suggested, why don't you just call yourself Larry King? It's easier. And he's like, all right. I'll go with the name Larry King. Hi, everybody. I'm Larry King. I'm all hunched over. I got these suspenders on. That one needs work. Besides, nobody else really knows who Larry King is these days. National Unicorn Day. Today we celebrate unicorns. All right, let's see what this is real quick. All right. Okay. Ooh, this is going to be something here. Okay, today we celebrate unicorns. Mythological animals that look like horses with horns on their foreheads. Although the holiday is observed all around the world, it has special significance in Scotland, where the unicorn is the national animal. Unicorns may not be real, but the concept of them goes back millennia, and they have been an ever-present part of culture. Early depictions of unicorns appeared in Mesopotamian artwork as well as in ancient myths in China and India. The Greek historian Dejix referenced an animal with one horn in 400 BCE. He likely was referring to the Indian rhinoceros, but he described the creature as having a white body and purple head, with a multicolored horn on its forehead. He wrote that the animal was very fast and that those who drank from its horn were protected from some illnesses. Yeah, now that kind of makes sense. Makes sense as to why now that makes sense. There's that scene in the first Harry Potter book where they're going through the Forbidden Forest and they see Professor Quill drinking unicorn blood, and he's got that turban around him. There have been other legends about the power of unicorn horns. One says poison waters, such as river, can be purified by a unicorn horn so that other animals can drink it. Because of this, unicorn horns became very pricey, costing more than gold. These horns were actually made from the protruding tooth of narwhals. Powdered unicorn horns were sold in some London pharmacies until the mid-18th century. Okay. Unicorns were mentioned in other places in the distant past. The Bible referenced an animal named a wren, which is sometimes translated to unicorn. Today it is usually translated to wild ox, the correct translation. The Christian Greek text, Physiology, says that the only way a unicorn can be caught is with a virgin maiden. In that text, the unicorn jumps in a maiden's lap, and she suckles it and takes it to the king's palace. Because of this, the unicorn was compared to Christ. According to one other legend, Genghis Khan decided not to take over India because I can't talk today. Okay, going back here. According to one other legend, Genghis Khan decided not to take over India because he came upon a unicorn that bowed down to him. The unicorn was the symbol. The unicorn was the symbol of purity, innocence, masculinity, and power in Celtic mythology. It has its roots in Scotland, where the unicorn is the national animal. It is unknown how unicorns became associated with Scotland, but one theory says that it happened after narwhals were spotted there, far away from their usual home in the Arctic. During the reign of William I in the 12th century, unicorns began being used on the Scottish royal coat of arms. On it, 2 unicorns are depicted having chains around their necks. As unicorns were seen as such powerful animals, the chains may symbolize that the Scottish kings were so strong that they even were able to tame unicorns. In the 15th century, during the reign of King James III, 2 coins known as the unicorn and half unicorn had unicorns on them. All right, so there you go. So, hey, look, I like unicorns. I mean, I think they look cute. And, well, that's pretty much all I got on that one. Yeah, all right. Gin and tonic did that one. Unicorn Day. National Winston Churchill Day. Celebrating the life of Winston Churchill. The start of Passover. This is tonight. Oh, wait. Observed the 15th of Nisan in the Hebrew calendar. Did not know that. So I just talked about Passover a little while ago, and if you want a good education on Passover, you can check out, there's an episode of Rugrats where they talk about Passover, and the show, I believe Arthur did an episode about Passover. Arthur, based off of the Mark Brown books, the same name with the aardvark. The show's been around for like 20-some years. It's a really good show. I got to admit. It's really cute. And, well, that's the end of the video. I'm Lawrence Ross. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you later. Bye-bye. Hey, guys, it's Lawrence. Well, that's the end of the video, but before I go, I want to thank you guys for checking out the content. If you'd like, you can check out my radio show every Friday evening at 7 p.m. on rasradiolive.com. That's R-A-S radiolive.com. RadioChaos.net, and in this case, it's chaos with a K, K-A-O-S, RadioChaos.net, or NoNameNetwork.net. It's called the LRWS, and check it out. We also have a store, teespring.com, T-E-E, spring.com, /stores/LRWS. And if you want, you can check out my Patreon page, patreon.com /LRoss1987. Thanks for watching.